The Ravens got Derrick Henry, and I'm supposed to believe they're so much exponentially better than the Houston Texans in power rankings? No. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new episode of The Lead. Your host, as always, Harley Dugan. We're here to talk some Houston Texans. We got another reaction video, another day, another reaction video, right? We got Mina here again. She just loves throwing all of this good propaganda for the Houston Texans. And she has Ryan Clark, who is absolutely fantastic whenever he gets a mic in his hands. And anytime he gets to speak, I listen. And he's just fun and engaging content. So without further ado, we got them talking about the Texans, and really it's the NFL power rankings. It's her way of ranking the teams, and who would you pick? Niners, Chiefs, stuff like that, and then they would just go down the list. And we skipped it because this is a long video. We skipped it to the part where we want to talk about the Houston Texans, because remember, guys, this is a Houston Texans state of mind. So while you're at it, go ahead and smash that like button. Easiest smash of your life. Go down in that comment section. Let me know, how are you feeling about where they rank the Houston Texans in this ranking system? Where do you rank our Houston Texans? And if you got a brain fart, you already know what to do. Drop a swarm in the chat. That's how I know you're living. With that further ado, let's get into the video. Let me get it right here. Bam. Here we go. We got Mina here. Got Ryan Clark here. They're going to talk some Houston Texans. Again, they're already past some of these power rankings. So far, the Chiefs are number 1. The 49ers are 2. And I believe it was like the Lions or someone. Yes, the Lions are 3rd. And then they got the Ravens versus our team.
That's it. We're going back to the Ravens for pick 4 versus, this might be a surprise, I'm putting the Texans here. Is that crazy?
No, because I did an NFL Live, not NFL Live, a Sports Center top 3 biggest AFC threats to the Kansas City Chiefs. And at number 1, I had the Houston Texans.
At 1. Wow. So are you going to pick them over the Ravens here?
Yes, I am. Ooh. I am picking the Houston Texans over the Ravens. Now, you go so you go to where they needed to get better. You get Kamari Lassiter from Georgia. You add Okudah at another spot in the corner to pair with Derek Stingley, who we watched start to become that ball-hawking corner that you expected. And this defense started to play well toward the end of the season. And to me, Mina, Jalen Petrie wasn't the player last year that he was the year before. Right? The year before, he played at an all-pro level. So if he can get his play back to that line we saw his rookie year, Christian Harris seems to be emerging as a superstar at the linebacker position. But now you add Autry. Now you add Danielle Hunter, right, to the other side of Will Anderson Jr. And I think defense now, we just talked about the defense, or I just talked about the defense for 2 minutes, and we didn't even get to the fact that they added Joe Mixon. We didn't get to the fact that they added Stephon Diggs, right? You and I were marveling at what this team was able to do against the Cleveland Browns in the first round of the playoffs last year. Now you have more weapons. How are you going to match up with this team with a quarterback that seems to have everything you need to be a franchise guy for the next decade and a half? So for me, they are actually over the Ravens.
Yeah, I just did top 10 coaches, top 10 offenses, top 10 defenses of 2024, like a prediction pod. And I had D'Amico, the offense and the defense from Texans in all 3 pods. I agree. Okay. Well, the Ravens are still on the board, but We're going
to stop it there because we're going to get into the Ravens and then the rest of these NFL power rankings. But man, it is a delight to see all of this Houston Texans positivity. There we go. Enunciation is key here on the lead. It is great to see it. It also gets me a little like, man, there's a lot of positive talk around this Texas. It feels weird, right? It feels a little awkward getting into it. But regardless, I love it. I love getting the reactions. I love seeing positive conversations around our Houston Texans, and it just gets the fans and everyone that is believing in this team just more hyped and more like, man, I can't wait for the goddamn season to start. And I believe I tweeted a few days ago, it was like 66 days until we get to see the Texans on Sunday. I think it's now 64 days until we get to see the Texans on Sunday when we swarm Lucas Oil Stadium. But, in regards to this video right now, Ryan Clark did a pretty good job of this. I believe it too. I think the Houston Texans are better than the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens lost a lot of talent this offseason, and I know they grabbed Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry don't do much for me. Sure, that creates another element in their offense with him and Lamar Jackson. At the end of the day, what receivers do they have? Well, I'm still looking at the wide receiver department for the Baltimore Ravens, and it just seems like they're still allergic to getting Lamar Jackson a legitimate threat at the wide receiver position. And I love Zay Flowers. I think he is a legitimate threat at wide receiver. You need something else, though. All right. Mark Andrews, fantastic tight end. You need something else. The Houston Texans, what they did this offseason, he talked about the defense for 2 minutes. He has to get into the offense. That is how much the Texans have improved this offseason. And I think they are a much better team than last year's team that lost to the Baltimore Ravens. Not only week 1, not only in the playoffs, but I believe the Texans are a better team than the Ravens right now, at least on paper. When I look at that playoff loss, look, the Houston Texans, you can say whatever you want. They didn't score an offensive touchdown that game, but at halftime, they were right in the middle of everything. They were right in the midst of everything. The Houston Texans were at halftime. They were shutting down Lamar Jackson. Christian Harris was doing his thing. He had the return from Steven Sims. And as a fan, you're going, maybe in the second half, we're going to make our adjustments and we're going to make a comeback. That is where the Texans were at last year. As rookies, as babies, they didn't know what they were getting themselves into. All right. They fucked around and just dropped a 40 bomb on the Cleveland Browns and the best defense in the NFL the week prior. Now you're telling me that I can't say the Texans are better than the Ravens because they lost to them twice last year, but the Ravens got Derrick Henry, and I'm supposed to believe they're so much exponentially better than the Houston Texans in power rankings? No. This offseason is the Houston Texans' way of suiting up themselves to the rest of the NFL, to the rest of the teams that are very good in this league. We've beaten the Cincinnati Bengals already. We're going to face the Buffalo Bills. I'm not that scared of anybody that is on that schedule because I know at the end of the day, the Houston Texans did what they did this offseason to get themselves ready for what is one of the strongest schedules in the NFL. And I have no doubt that I'm going to be calling a W for the Houston Texans when they play Baltimore on Christmas Day. As always, guys, go Astros, go Rockets, go Texans. You have a blessed day.